some Christmas cash. You want to spend it. You've got your eye on some things on eBay and you want to make some offers on some things that are on your list that didn't get put in the stockings. So here's how you can save a few bucks and make a good offer on an item you want from a seller on eBay. First up, you might just go to your web browser and type in ebay.com and log into your account, but don't do that. I'm going to show you a better way to make an offer on something that'll help the seller be able to meet your offer price. Instead of just going to eBay and searching for the thing you want, open up a browser incognito window or private browsing on Firefox and head over to eBay there. Now you're in your incognito window. You're not signed in, and eBay's not keeping track of anything you're doing, and that's going to be important because here's what we're going to do next. Search for the thing you want. I've been looking for a Nintendo Game Boy myself. So I type that into the search and a bunch of Nintendo Game Boys come up for sale. And the one thing we want to pay attention to is right here at the top of this list, we've got a sponsored listing. The sponsored listing means that this seller has agreed to pay an extra fee to have their item show up at the top of the list. And what will happen if we just click on this and go to make an offer on this Game Boy right here, this seller is going to have to pay an additional percentage sales fee to eBay to be able to take you up on your deal. So what you want to do is don't click that make offer button. Can't do it here in the incognito browser anyway. You're not signed in. Go back up here to the address bar. Click on it and you'll see the domain name, ebay.com. ITM is the item and then the item number and then a question mark. All this stuff on this side of the question mark is eBay keeping track of what you're doing and using all of this information in the web address. eBay would know if you made an offer on this sponsored listing to this seller, and they'd take their percentage and make it harder for the seller to take you up on your offer. So instead, highlight and copy everything from this question mark back to the left. HTTPS www.ebay.com/item and then the item number. Just copy that. Now go back to your non-incognito browser. We're just going to close this. We're going to close this. And now we're back in the browser that has our eBay account. We're signed in. Paste that in there. We've got that same item number. Enter. Now we're looking at that very same Game Boy, except this time we didn't click on a sponsored listing. And we can make an offer now. And the seller is going to be able to take a lower offer now because they're not going to be paying a promoted item fee. You'll just be making an offer directly to the seller here. And I don't actually want to make an offer on this right now, so I'm going to do something low. That seems like a fair price. No, let's go even lower. I really don't want to buy this. Thank you for considering. And at this point, you don't have to be super aggressive with your offer. You can just put a fair price in there. Here it's giving you a little feedback. The seller will be more likely to respond if your offer is around $44.25. Thank you for considering. And you can continue. Actually, I'm not going to make this offer. But if you wanted to, you would click continue and it would send it to the seller. And then they'd have a certain amount of time to consider if they wanted to accept your offer or not. But now I'm curious. This is saying that if I make an offer at $35, it's giving me a little feedback here. The seller will be more likely to respond if your offer is around $44.25. I wonder if that's going to be the same dollar amount if I made the offer through the promoted listing. Well, let's see. We can just test that out right here. Still logged in. Searching for my Nintendo Game Boy. Here's that same seller, that same item, at that same price, $9.06. Now I clicked on the sponsored listing. Now that I clicked on the sponsored listing, the system knows. It showed me a sponsored listing. I clicked on it. And as far as the system knows, it did its job. It put the sponsored listing at the top of the list. I clicked on it. So this advertising, this paid for listing placement, did its job. And now if I make an offer on this, the system's going to charge the normal fees, which for the average seller is going to be around 12 or 13% for this item, plus the shipping. And then in addition, that seller paid 10% or more to have this sponsored listing placed right here at the top. Now if I make the offer, it's still saying that the seller will be more likely to respond if the offer is around $44.25, which is probably a fair price for this Game Boy. But the math isn't the same on the seller's end. They'll see some different math when this offer comes across. They'll see the offer amount, and then they'll see all of the eBay fees getting taken off of that, which will be 12 or 13% just for selling the thing to begin with, plus a listing fee, plus an additional sponsored listing fee, which could be an additional 10%. And in this case, that's $3 or $4. So there you go. If you want to try to save a few dollars, make some offers on eBay with your Christmas money, that's one way you can do it. And maybe be able to get a few extra dollars off that item you're looking for. I hope you found this helpful. Have a great new year.